Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to talk about Commander, Tough Rules, and Cool Interactions, episode 121. Today's episode is going to take a look at the mill mechanic and cards that mill cards and care about milling cards, because we recently got the Fallout decks and one of them had a focus on rad counters and mill with the Wise Mothman and the Master Transcendent as two of the possible leads for the deck, and we're likely to see a bit of a boost to decks that care about milling. In fact, I encountered a game last week with this really cool interaction that confused everyone in the room, and I knew right then and there that it would make for a perfect episode. So let's get right to it. You're playing your mill deck, whatever your commander is at the lead, and you control a Mind Crank, which is an artifact that says, whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. And then you also control Screeching Scorchbeast, which is a new creature from the Fallout set, and it says, whenever one or more non-land cards are milled, you may create that many 2/2 black zombie mutant creature tokens. Do this only once each turn. And now your opponent casts the spell Ad Nauseam, which is an instant that says, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. You may repeat this process any number of times. One important thing to note is that Ad Naus isn't multiple triggered abilities going over and over and repeating it. It's something repeated all within the one singular spell resolving. I did a video on something similar to this way back in Tough Rules and Cool Interactions episode 36, so please do check that video out. I'll link it in the video's description down below. So now let's cover why this is an important thing to note to resolving this scenario. The first thing that we must clear up is how the Mind Crank will or will not mess with the process of resolving the Ad Naus. And by that I mean if your opponent reveals a, let's say, 1 mana value card, and then they want to repeat the process to reveal another card, will they first have to mill 1 card for the 1 life they lost, and then reveal the next card? Does the Mind Crank interrupt between each repeat of the Ad Naus? To find this answer, we will take a look at the comprehensive rules in section 117.2a that says, triggered abilities can trigger at any time, including while a spell is being cast, an ability is being activated, or a spell or ability is resolving. However, nothing actually happens at the time an ability triggers. Each time a player would receive priority, each ability that has triggered but hasn't yet been put onto the stack is put onto the stack. And as I've covered in quite a few other episodes, and based on the comprehensive rules, we know that players do not receive any priority while a spell or ability is resolving. This is comprehensive rules 117.2e. So now we know that we will wait until Ad Naus is totally finished to place the Mind Crank triggers on the stack. But will it be multiple triggers or possibly just one big trigger? When your opponent resolves their Ad Naus, let's say, hypothetically, that they end up repeating it 4 times. So a total of 5 cards are revealed, and in order, they were cards with a mana value of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then finally 5 mana value, which causes them to lose that amount of life in that same order. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 life lost, for a total of 15 life lost. Will we then have a single trigger on the stack for that player to mill 15 cards from the Mind Crank, or will we have 5 individual triggers of those respective amounts? Some players may not think that this matters, and in most cases of Magic that is very true, but sometimes it does matter, and that's what this channel is all about. Specifically to this situation, I saw last week that Screeching Scorchbeast says it can only resolve once per turn, and so it very much cares about how many cards and what all is milled the first time each turn. So the question still remains. Is it a single instance of 15 cards being milled, or 5 individual triggers of cards being milled? Sadly, for the player controlling the Screeching Scorch Beast, it will not be a single 15-card milling. It will be the 5 individual triggers. But now this creates a new question. In what order will these triggers resolve? Again, that Scorch Beast cares about the first time milling happens that turn, as it won't resolve from any future cards being milled. What will the case be? This is another thing I've covered in many previous episodes, but in short, Comprehensive Rules 405.3 covers how if multiple triggered abilities happen at the exact same time, then the controlling player decides the order in which their triggered abilities enter the stack, and while all of those Mind Crank triggers did trigger at different times, they had to wait before they were going onto the stack, and that means that all 5 entered the stack at the same time, meaning that the controller of Mind Crank decides the order, and in our scenario here, that is you. And you're also the controller of the Screeching Scorch Beast. So you can have the Mill 5 trigger resolve first, giving you the best possible choice to get the most creature tokens from this ability. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you have found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one. Ta-ta. And once again, I am sick. I don't know what, I just keep getting sick on these weekends, and my voice just starts going out after I do this. All right, I'm done. You guys have a good one. Ta-ta.